Well, the Indian Pilots Guild have written a letter to the management of Air India talking in opposing the 10% pay cut on their allowances that was, of course, announced by Air India management last week. In fact, the letter started off by addressing the whole speech that Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, had delivered to the nation, where he mentioned that no employers should be cutting any of the wages of any employees. Well, the Pilots Guild in its letter mentioned of course, it's a joint letter that is sent to Air India Chief Rajiv Bansal and by, of course, the Indian Pilots Guild and Indian Commercial Pilots Association, that said the reduction in allowance was against the Labour and Employment Ministry's advisory. In fact, to quote, they started by saying, "We, the flying crew of Air India, feel immensely let down by the self-serving approach of the Executive Management Committee in the name of cost-cutting measures. The committee has completely disregarded the appeal made by the Prime Minister and the advisory from the Labour and Employment Ministry." Unquote. Well, this is all, of course, coming in with the announcement that Air India had made. In fact, in the end of the letter, they have also written that this is unequal and absolutely not acceptable by the Pilots Association. Well, it was on March 18, that is around second week of March, that the airline had also decided to withdraw special allowances to pilots while revising downward the layover allowance for cabin crew, and significantly flying allowances accounts for as much as 70% of pilots' salary. Well, that plus, of course, a 10% cut on that is something that the pilots think is a lot. In fact, a source close to this also told me that this is absolutely not acceptable by the group of pilots, because the management has protected themselves from the cut. I'm quoting that the cut amounts to a few thousand rupees, but the pilots' cuts amount to that of 20%, since the cut is on allowances only. And this is all happening while they are on work. And of course, the management is currently at not on field doing this. Well, the pilots feel that this has been somewhere an injustice to them, and that they should withdraw this cut of 10% on their allowance. The Indian Pilots Guild put out this letter today, that is on Friday, addressing the chairman and the executive director and the management of Air India.